Hello, here's the second episode of Closed Loops, where I'll try to make a short loop under 2 seconds, something that would work on a vinyl as a locked groove. So this one has a few sounds, 2 coming from the modular and 3 sounds coming from the alpha bass, a couple of effects, and that's it. So the first sound, which is the one I started with, is the complex oscillator into the amp and tone into the multi-delay processor, gated by the voltage multistage. So let's hear it. That's the sound dry. So it's a sequence of gate coming from the voltage multistage, opening the multi-envelope. I made quite a complex envelope using the first envelope end of pulse to trigger the second envelope, and I'm mixing the result into my control voltage processor. I'm also mixing a gate from the voltage multistage with these 2 envelopes, so that gives me this pattern that is sometimes moving. There are accents. The gate creates accents depending on the strength of the gate, and the strength of the gate is dictated by the quantized random, which is moving the position on the crossfader in the control voltage processor. I have a fluctuating random moving a parameter, the low to high on the complex oscillator, then just 1 tap of delay, and I'm using the reverb of the multi-delay processor. And it has a beautiful blooming effect because of the delay time and the pre-delay of the reverb. Of course, the pre-delay is dependent on the delay time. And on top of that, I'm throwing a bit of El Capistan on this, just to give it some space. So that's the first sound. Okay, so for the second sound, I'm using Odessa. And Odessa is going into my dual 4-pole, just a low pass side. I'm using it as a low pass gate or a VCA if you want. So the filter is closed, there's some resonance, and I'm using function to open the filter and use it as a VCA low pass gate. So that's going then into the bar filter processor. So let's hear the sound. Function is triggered by the bin sequencer. The bin sec is receiving its advanced input from the end of pulse of my second multi-envelope. So the first 2 sequence, the complex oscillator sound we've just listened and the Odessa sound, are linked in a way because the voltage multistage is gating the multi-envelope and the multi-envelope is gating my sequencer, which is gating my third envelope function, opening the low pass side of the dual 4-pole, allowing Odessa to go through. So this is the sound. It's sort of a bass note, very low pass, so basically a sine wave. And then we have these higher notes coming through. And this is going through the Yomox T resonator in reverb mode. The reverb is pretty nice on this. I think it's the same chip as the tip-top modules. It sounds good to me. I just use the delay and the reverbs on this. And so there is delay as well from Valhalla, the plugin. And so that's it. That's the second sound. So let's listen to it with the first sound together. So that's sort of bass line, some higher percussive notes, and a more amplitude modulated complex oscillator. Let's see what happens with the alpha bass now. Okay, so for the alpha bass, once again, nothing too crazy, just 3 sounds. First of all, a kick. Basic kick, let's see the parameters. It's just some attack, a lot of EQ to make it a bit more dull. Not the longest decay. No wave folder. It's just a 8-ish sort of kick. Then we just have an open hat. There is some reverb from Clevegrund. I think the line of Clevegrund plugins are all pretty good. I like that one, the reverb, quite useful. And lastly, there is a sort of a rim shot. And the rim shot is going through Eventide. I think that's a pitch shifter. The algorithm is called Crystals. It's something on the H9. With everything together, let's just listen to the alpha bass drums. So, like I said, nothing crazy at all, it's just basic sounds. So that's with the T-Resonator and with the complex oscillator. Of course, everything is going through the overstayer modular channel for some saturation and glue. So let's listen to the complete result once it's gone through the overstayer.